We're approaching the anniversary of the shot heard around the world. It happened on April the 19th, 1775, on the Lexington Green, when outnumbered about 10 to 1, a handful of Minutemen stood up to the 7 to 800 British regulars. These men were from Pastor Jonas Clark's church. He and a deacon named John Parker trained the men for such an occasion. Unknown weapons retort that day plunged us into a lengthy conflict with the Crown. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Greene, and this is God in America, where faith and freedom walk hand in hand. Much of America's greatness began with men and women who listened not to kings, not to governments, but to God's call. Before America was a nation, it was an idea, a divine stirring in the hearts of ordinary believers who dared to trust that liberty and faith could coexist. John Adams made this declaration: the revolution was in the minds and hearts of the people, a change in their religious sentiments of their duties and obligations. This radical change in the principles, opinions, sentiments, and affections of the people was the real American Revolution. In 1620, a small band of separatists crossed the Atlantic in search of a place where they could worship God without persecution. They weren't adventurers or politicians. They were people of faith, men and women who believed that following God was worth any cost. Before they stepped off the Mayflower, they made a covenant, the Mayflower Compact, pledging to form a civic body politic under God. Governor William Bradford later wrote, "Thus out of small beginnings greater things have been produced by his hand that made all things of nothing. As one small candle may light 1,000, so the light here kindled hath shone unto many." These pilgrims walked by faith, not by sight, just as Abraham did in Hebrews 11, verse 8. By faith, Abraham obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. Their courage reminds us that true liberty begins not in government halls, but in hearts that fear God more than men. Fast forward a few years, and you'll find Roger Williams, a minister who boldly declared that faith cannot be forced. For that conviction, he was banished from Massachusetts Bay. He fled through the wilderness and founded Rhode Island, a colony built on the radical idea that no man should be punished for his conscience. Williams wrote, "Forced worship stinks in God's nostrils." That sounds a lot like Galatians 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free. Williams' stand for spiritual liberty laid the foundation for our First Amendment freedoms. He knew what many today have forgotten, that when faith is free, freedom flourishes. 1630, aboard the Arbella, John Winthrop told his fellow settlers, "Be a city upon a hill," echoing Matthew 5, verse 14, where Jesus said, "You're the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden." Winthrop's words became a prophetic description of America's mission. When America has walked with God, her light has shone brightly. When she has wandered, her influence has dimmed. Another man of conviction, William Penn, founded Pennsylvania as a holy experiment. As a Quaker, he believed that government should protect, not persecute, conscience. Penn wrote, "Men must be governed by God or they will be ruled by tyrants." That truth still echoes today. Every time a nation abandons God, tyranny rushes in to fill the vacuum. Micah 6, verse 8 gives us the divine formula for true liberty: do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Penn's colony proved that righteousness, not rebellion, is the soil where liberty grows. By the time of the Revolution, God's call to freedom had spread through the pulpits and homes alike. Men like Samuel Adams, Patrick Henry, and John Witherspoon, who, by the way, was a Presbyterian minister and signer of the Declaration, believed that liberty was not man's invention, but God's intention. Adams wrote, "Religion and good morals are the only solid foundation of public liberty and happiness." Patrick Henry's famous cry, "Give me liberty or give me death," wasn't a political slogan. It was a spiritual conviction, echoing 2 Corinthians 3, verse 17, "Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." My friends, that same call still echoes across America today. God still calls his people to faith, courage, and obedience. The Pilgrims faced persecution. We face apathy. Roger Williams faced exile. We face moral confusion and conflict. Yet the answer is the same: to obey God rather than men. We can't save America through politics or policy alone. The hope of this nation has always been and always will be the people of God living by faith. Second Chronicles 7 verse 14 still holds true. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. Just as God once used a small band of believers to light the world from Plymouth Rock, he can use us today if we will listen for his call and answer it. Thank you for joining me today, Patriots. Until next time, let's keep the light of hearing the call burning.